What's up, shotties? I hope y'all are doing well. So this is one of those videos I want to make for a while now as well. It's the Hollow Knight boss tier list. I streamed it the other day as I was creating it, and this video will just be me cutting down that stream into a more digestible video for people who missed that stream. With that being said, I did make the mistake of sometimes not explaining well enough why I ranked a certain boss at a certain point, and I'm sorry if that's the case. I did my best to do so for most of them, but if I missed any, I'm sorry. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video and have a nice day. Thanks for watching. I'm not gonna remember P5 order, so we'll just go left to right. Let's start with Gruzmother. Okay, Gruzmother. It's definitely D tier for me. Uh, all right. Let's not get too overthinking. Gruzmother, very basic pattern, very basic fight. It's a fine. It's like passable, but it's not like great. I think D is a reasonable ranking. I'm gonna leave it at D. Fuck this shit. I'm not going in order. I'm gonna go into order I feel like. Next up, this is broken vessel. This is a broken vessel. B tier. No, not B tier. My mistake. C tier. I think it's a good fight. I don't think it's a great fight. It's good in the beginning, but it's very, very slow. You realize once you get later into the game, like especially when you're doing like Pantheon 5, like once you get later into the game, you realize how slow of a fight it is. Like it is ridiculously slow to a point where that's one of my things where it's like it's fine. Yeah. It's not bad. Like I wouldn't consider it a D. A D would be too excessive. Uh no, but I think this would be higher. I'm gonna keep Broken Vessel as a C. A better one that's still slow but is still a solid fight. Grim. Grim as a fight. It's still a solid fight. Its pattern is really good. It gets kind of boring because you can kind of like figure out the pattern after doing it like several times. But it's still one of those fights where I don't see enough wrong with it. It's just like repetitive and pretty easy after you learn the pattern. But not a bad fight. Uh I say F tier would probably be simple. I think Moss Charger is literally just such an unnecessary fight. I think it's like jokes aside, I just don't think it needs to be in the game. I don't think there's anything you really gain from it. It's very much a why do we need it? Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's necessary. Okay, one thing I'm gonna keep in mind is when I rank these, I explain Lost Kin's in A tier. Lost Kin will not be in S tier only because of its glitches. And that's one of those things, again, I'm gonna rank the bosses because of that. Because Lost Kin has this really horrible glitch where sometimes you hit it and it slides towards you. And it makes the fight super annoying when that happens. And because of that, that's the only thing that's causing me not to put it at S. Uh, because it's glitches like those that ruin the fight. And if that shit's still in there, it's a part of the fight at that point. Watcher Knights. It doesn't happen for me. It's only once in a while. But when it does happen, it's annoying. I'd put Watcher Knights over Broken Vessel. But Watcher Knights also have that issue where if it's part of the design, I hate it. And if it's a glitch, that's also not a good enough reason. But sometimes they will just randomly fly back with like no logic. Like sometimes they'll hit the wall and stop completely. But then sometimes they'll hit the wall, bounce across the arena, and hit me. Like, I'm not okay with that, and that's the only reason. Because aside from that, it's still not an A tier in my opinion. It's a very mid fight. Uh, no, but the wall bouncing is clearly not intentional. That's the thing, because it's like certain times you can see you'll hit the same spot in the wall and either completely die or randomly like shoot across, and it just doesn't seem to be like on purpose. Maybe it is, but I think they're only supposed to bounce a little bit. Like sometimes they will like go across the arena to hit me, where it doesn't feel like right. Yeah, there again, it's not a bad fight. I'm gonna be definitely ranking a lot of these based on the issues I've had with them, because I need to like the whether they're glitches or just designs I don't like. Either way, they're a part of my experience as to why I would rank them the way I do. And that's another one I was gonna bring up. Trader Lord I think is a D tier. It might be a C tier. I'm thinking on it. Because for Trader Lord, the fight itself is very... I think I'd give it like a low C tier. I don't think it's bad enough to be a D tier because it has at least enough variety of moves. But the biggest thing killing it is the one fucking step forward. The step that shouldn't occur that ruins the fight sometimes. Where it randomly step into you when it's not supposed to. Dog shit. Ruins the fight. I would not like... It's not getting above a C. If that wasn't an issue, my opinion on the fight would probably be completely different. But if it's there, it's at the bottom of C tier or at the top of D tier. Vengeful Flies... I think Vengeful Flies would be F. I think Vengeful Flies is another one you can put at F. It's such a limited moveset, and there's nothing that special about them. Like, even if you go to a Pantheon, which I guess that's where you fight it, regardless of which version you use, it's very much a, like, boring fight with nothing... nothing special about it. I think it's a super forgettable fight. It's literally the definition of a warm-up fight. I keep seeing Hornet here. I think Hornet was a solid B. I think Moloch is forgettable. I know it's like it has a okay amount of variety, but I don't think there's anything that special about the fight. I think it's very like forgettable. I think this could drop down to a D. I think a D for Moloch is like a reasonable thing to put it at. I think it's so forgettable and such a... It's not poorly designed. It's just such a mid-fight. Like, it's... I forget it, like, immediately. Fuck it. Another D tier right here. We are going with Flukmarm. It's a very... very boring fight. I think I was gonna say Flukmarm could be F, but I guess... Could it? I don't think it has much variety. I think we could put it as F. Honestly, if I honestly, if I think about it, it might be F tier. Because it's like, it's one of these... I say F are the ones that are like so... Like, not only forgettable, but they didn't have much variety to their moveset. So, like, it's just overall a boring fight. So I would definitely also keep Brooding Moloch as D, because that kind of proves my point. All these so far have, like, no variety and are, like, pretty much boring fights. At least these two have fights that are, like, a little variety in their pattern. Even if they're not amazing. They're pretty ass, but they're just not bottom of the barrel. I think I'd put False Knight as a B tier. I think False Knight is also another good starting fight. I think it's another one where it's like, there's nothing super special about it, but I think it's another good jumping on point where, like, for someone who's never played the game, it is, like, a bit tough, but not that tough. Yeah. So I think it's a B tier. I think there's nothing special enough about it to push it to those, like, higher echelons. But I think it's a solid fight overall. So I definitely think it's just like Grim and Hornet. Like they're great. They're great for the start. But great for the start doesn't necessarily mean peak, you know? When I think of S tier, I think of the fights that like whichever time you face them, they're like cool and they're uh like fun fights to do. I think Soul Tyrant would be a C tier. I'd put it uh above Watcher Knights or Soul Master. Soul Master, not Soul Tyrant. Soul Master, I think, is a C tier. I think it's a very slow fight. Yeah, I misspoke. Uh, is a very slow fight and a very like, it's fine. Uh, but I wouldn't put it on the same levels as being as good of a beginner fight as the other ones in B tier. I think this is just it's a solid C. It's passable. It's not amazing. It's just fine. Regular Nosk. Regular Nosk, I think is might be D tier. I don't like regular Nosk as a fight. No, when he goes to a roof, it's like very much just kind of like a guessing game as to where it's gonna throw the lava. Yeah, again, even if I like the design, which I do like the design, but these bosses are not being ranked at all in regards to this. I stuttered, sorry. These bosses are not being ranked at all in regards to their design. Let's make that clear. This is specific to my experience with the game and how I interacted with these bosses and how I felt I would rank them. It's nothing to do with the way they're designed. Another solid B tier, I'd go with Dung Defender. I liked the character. It was a fun introduction. Oh yeah, I would. I would put Dung Defender above Solma. Because you have a lot more counters to Dung Defender. I like when you have the ability to counter a boss with more of your moveset. Because for Dung Defender, you can use Dark Descent to like get them out of the ground and speed up the fight. Like I like having that variety. You can kind of volleyball with Dung Defender, but not to like the extent you can with White Defender. Marmu is clearly an S tier. We know this, guys. We know this. I don't think Marmu's the worst fight ever. I'm not gonna lie. I think Marmu is only a dog shit fight because of its buggy, glitchy issues. Marmu is not that bad of a fight. The only thing bad about Marmu that makes it a bad fight is literally how sometimes it'll like speed blitz the you, and even when you get the hit off, it'll go and like clip through your nail and hit you anyways. I think I'd put it in D tier. I don't think I'd put it in F. Uh, I think it could be a higher fight. I just think that big issue of it clipping through your nail sometimes is such a dog shit mechanic. Because I don't know if they did that on purpose, whether that's a mechanic or a glitch. But whatever it is, it's a part of the game and it makes it a dog shit fight. If that wasn't an issue, I think Marmu would be a fine fight. Okay, we can go ahead and add Galleon to this too. Galleon I'd probably put at the top of D. Again, I won't put Galleon in F because it's not completely broken or like easy or anything like that. My biggest issue with Galleon, again, I don't think Galleon's a bad fight. I think Galleon can be a great fight. My issue though is that sometimes you get some shit RNG and Galleon will not stop camping the floor or camping the corners throughout the fight, and you just have to extend the fight by 10 minutes and just pray that the 50 blades don't hit you. I think it's a dog shit fight specifically because of that. If that was not an issue, and Like there have been moments for me where it hasn't been, where Galleon is just fighting like normal. It's a fun fight. It's a solid fight. But because of those issues, it's dog shit. And I can't put it above a D. I can put it at the top of D, but because of that bullshit, I can't keep putting up with. Like, even if it's 1 in 10, the fact that it even occurs is a problem. That shouldn't be a thing. And because it does occur, I'm not putting Galleon any higher than D. Okay, I think Soul Tyrant would be an A tier, maybe even an S tier. I don't think it has enough of a variety. It's pretty fast paced. The only complaint I had is sometimes when in the second phase where like it'll spawn in the orbs where it'll like stay at the bottom instead of like hovering above, so like you really can't hit it much. But again, that's not that big a deal. That's nothing, like, not a glitch, nothing wrong with it. I think Soul Tyrant can go an S. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's a solid fight. It checks all the boxes. I can't see any reason why I wouldn't put it at S. I think, yeah, there's not like a bug or any issues with it. I think it's a fair S. Okay, I think Mantis Lords are definitely an A. Mantis Lords, when you first start out, are a really good fight for like getting you introduced to the game. And when I played it, it was like really fun when I didn't have any experience to beat them. And like it's pretty fast paced for when you're first starting. I think I'd put Mantis Lords above Lost Kin. Lost Kin is still great, but Mantis Lords I just think are such a good fight for people who've never played the game. Like, it's what got me interested in continuing the game. I'd put it above Mantis. Gorb is such a fine fight. Like, it exists, but there's nothing, like, great about it. I think, honestly, God Tamer would probably be somewhere here. I think God Tamer would be, like, between Watcher Knights and, Soul Master. Speaking about S tiers, let's get one easy one out the way. Sisters of Battle. Obvious S tier. I don't think there's anything wrong with the fight. Sisters of Battle is like a perfect fight. I don't have any issues with it. I think it's a peak fight. What else can I say? Like, it's once you learn the pattern, you can pretty much do it without ever getting hit. It's pretty fast paced, and it's just overall a fun fight. I don't think there's much to say because it's just perfect. I feel like it's self-explanatory. Oblobbles. Oblobbles, I really want to put at F tier. I want to put Oblobbles as F tier. Because the thing is, I was like, nah, maybe you could like put in the consideration that they have patterns and you can figure out where the lava is being spewed, but I don't fucking care. They're a trash fight. It's still very much like a single move. They're not like, there's nothing like the pattern doesn't change. It's not like there's like a wall or anything like that. They just speed up in the second phase, but it's always the same exact move, like just spewing lava the same exact way. There's nothing unique about it, nothing fun. I think F is very reasonable. Umu would be C tier. Okay, I think No Eyes would go here too. Alright, I think Wing Nosk is a solid B tier fight. I think it's a solid fight overall. There's literally only a single issue I have with the fight. And that issue, again, comes down to, I'm pretty sure, another glitch. And that's sometimes it'll go out of frame to where you have to completely guess where the lava is going. There are also issues with the ghosts sometimes spawning directly in you. Or like it doing a few moves where it'll like put a ghost on you and you have to jump over it, so you're basically screwed. But I think even then there's like so many ways you can kind of get around it that I think it's, again, bottom of B tier. I think I'd put it around here. Soul Warrior. Soul Warrior is just fine. It exists, but there's nothing like, it's not very memorable. It's very much like, it feels like a common enemy a lot of times. In front of Gruzmother? Alright, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll put it in front of Gruzmother. I think that's fine. It's not that much of a difference. Obvious S tier. Nightmare King Grim. Chef's Kiss. Peak fight. What more can I say? It's very fast paced. It's still fun to me, even when I play it. Like, as much as I struggled, once you get the pattern down, it is such a fun fight. It is a very fun fight. Once you, like, realize the pattern, you can kind of hitless it almost every time. There's not much, like, bullshit you have to deal with like you do with the other fights sometimes, where something might spawn on you or anything like that. I've said this for the person asking again, for the people asking again. Hornet is B tier because it's one of the beginning fights that I think is a solid fight to, like, start off the game, but there's nothing that special about it. It's a fine fight. It's a good fight. I wouldn't say it's great or amazing. I think it's just there. It's a, like, good fight to get people started. But, like, another good fight at the start that's even better is Mantis Lords. It's another fight right at the start that is a lot more fun and is a good introduction to newer players. Again, these S tier I'll probably rearrange by the end. This isn't like a fine, like, because I'll put Nightmare King Grim above Soul Tyrant. The S tiers I'll probably rearrange by the end. I think if it's specifically like a design flaw or an issue like that, it's gonna remain in D tier. While, like, F tier is pretty much for, like, the absolute worst where they shouldn't be in the game. I think these are bosses that can be improved, that could be, like, actual fun fights if they just fix those things. I don't think the bottom F tier can really be improved. I think they should just be, like, they should be taken out the game. They're just garbage.
Sculpture
I think
Lake
Enraged
Early
Guardian
says,
could go
Zerk belongs in
above
S tier.
above
Say it with me.
Gorb, but below Broken Vessel. Sorry, that's just Crystal Guardian. Crystal Guardian is just, again, another one that's fine. It's there. I don't have much to say about it. Its pattern is very, like, boring. I don't think there's anything super interesting about the fight. But it exists. There's not many problems with it. It's just, it's in the game. I think Enraged Guardian deserves worse rank though. And that would be above Soul Warrior, below Nosk. I think Enraged Guardian is a dog shit fight because it's literally just Crystal Guardian again. Most of these other fights in their second phase have some, like, big enough change to where it's distinguishable. Like, there's something unique to them. Enraged Guardian is not the case. It's very much just the same fight with more damage. Very, very trash. I wouldn't put it in F. It's not like, again, I feel like an F would be too harsh. It's fine. It's just not good. Where are we putting the Hollow Knight? I think the Hollow Knight would be like a B. The Hollow Knight is a fine fight. I don't think it's great. I think Hollow Knight would be probably closer to here. The Hollow Knight is so forgettable for me because it's like one of those ones I don't even think about anymore. You know what? I think I'll move Grim up to A tier. I don't think there's anything about the Hollow Knight that makes it, like, worth putting it up to A or anything, because A are the ones that I consider really good, and then S are, like, peak. So I don't think the Hollow Knight is that good of a fight to put it into very good. I'm still, like, not 100% on Grim because I feel like Grim is a good fight, but I don't know if I'd consider it, like, really good, especially after you face Nightmare King Grim, where you have something that's a lot better. I think Hive Knight honestly could go in C tier above Soul Master. I think Hive Knight is, I don't know if I consider it very fun because sometimes it gets very spammy. I could consider it low B tier. Okay, so fine. Fine. We want to consider the Pantheons. Let's take Umu off. And let's take this off. The remainder stay the same if we consider the Pantheons. Well, fuck you, Bash. I hope you see that. Okay, Umu. Umu will be, if we consider the Pantheons, I'll put it at D tier. I think then, if we're considering the Pantheons, I'd move this above. Brooding Moloch would move over Enraged Guardian, because you have the different versions of Brooding Moloch where you have the different floors, which makes the fight a little more entertaining. So I'd move Brooding Moloch. Umu would go above Marmu. No Eyes would be an F tier then. No Eyes, because the Pantheon version is so dog shit with like its spawn sometimes. Like I literally had a moment where I got hit by a ghost into thorns and then immediately spawned into ghosts and died. Took away just 3 hearts straight to death. I think that even occurs, it'd be F tier. Bash, if you don't hold your fucking horses, I swear to God. I swear to God, Bash. My tier list. Those were the only changes I'd say need to be making.
Sculpture Leg Early says Bash hold
See,
your
I'm
fucking
stuttering
horses.
because Bash is pissing me off. I think White Defender could be an A. I think White Defender, like you being able to juggle it the entire time, is a really cool mechanic. And I think it has like a variety of, like a good variety of moves on top of like improving upon the first fight. I feel like White Defender is a solid fight. Alright, let's go with another A. And that would be the Brothers. I think the Brothers would probably go over White Defender. I think the Brothers are a solid fight. I think they're a lot harder for me in the beginning. But like after playing them so many times, I realize how like readable they are. How many chances you have to heal. I think overall they're a fun fight. They're pretty interesting. They can get a little annoying sometimes. I think they're on the really good side. I think I'd keep them as A. Yeah, I think they're a really good introduction to Pantheons. I agree. I think Elder Hugh is a very boring fight. I might even put Elder Hugh in F. Honestly, I don't think there's enough redeeming qualities. I think it's just such a boring fight, and especially when you get Shade Cloak. There's nothing fun about it. I can't, like, see, the one thing I've said before too, which would make it an easier fight, but it would also make it like quicker, and I don't know if that would make the fight interesting. But my issue on top of everything else is that for Elder Hugh, it disappears in the middle of the fight, which is fine. But when it does that and like launches the springs downwards, when it reappears randomly. And the thing is, it gives you no incentive as the player to try to remember where he disappeared
Sculpture Leg Early says Bash.
Because
your
if he disappeared from the
your
right
viewers
side
want
to
you
the
to take a
left,
second to
you could
hydrate and calm
incentivize the
down.
player to go towards that direction because it's going to spawn back over there, continuing the same pattern. He doesn't do that. He just restarts brand new and then disappears again and restarts brand new. So it's literally just guessing where he's going to reappear. So I think that just kind of makes the fight very, like, there's nothing about the fight, in my opinion, that's, like, redeeming or, like, interesting. There's nothing where I feel like it's fun. You don't have anything that's, like, pushing you to memorize anything. It's just overall a boring fight. Yeah, but, like, the way I'd see it is, like, is the second version enough of an improvement? Like, all of these, like, S tier up here, for example. Sisters of Battle, peak. It improves upon the original. Great fight. Grim, peak. Improves upon the original. Same with Soul Tyrant. If it improves upon what you have before and is like a fun fight, and there's not many issues with it, then it's gonna be S tier. And it's like, does Soul Tyrant, or not Soul Tyrant, Failed Champ improve enough upon False Knight to be A tier? I don't know, because it's pretty repetitive. I don't think it's only faster paced, but there's not like a new move entered into it, right? It's all the same moves. Yeah, but again, the other ones have like a newer move or some change to their move set. Fail Champ is one of those where it's like the change is that the debris falls most of the fight. I don't think Fail Champ is enough of an improvement. I think it's fine. I'd put it higher B tier. Maybe I'd put it low A tier. I'd put it at the bottom of A tier. I think everything above it is reasonably above it. I think Zero would go B tier. Maybe C tier. I was gonna say there's not many glitches with it. Very basic moves. It's not very unique. There's not much changes to it. It throws a nail at you, moves left. Throws the nail at you, moves right. And then rinse and repeat. Even the second phase is just throws a nail a little faster. So, yeah, I think I was just kind of being a little too graceful for a second. I do think Zero is just C tier. Again, fights that are there. They're not like terrible. They're not great. They're literally just mid. I'll put it this way. I would take Sly over the brothers. But I would take Grim over Sly. I think Sly's a solid fight. Again, I think it's limited by how little movesets it has. Second phase is super boring, but I don't think I'd like it loses ranks for that. I feel like the second phase is also like, you could call it boring, but it's also a pretty unique one where you can kind of figure out how to do its pattern. Like some people struggle with the second phase, and I feel like once you realize how to not struggle, it becomes like a little more fun. I take the Collector over Crystal Guardian, but not. I take Broken Vessel over the Collector. I think it's a fine fight. I feel like there's a decent amount of RNG involved just because you don't know what enemies are being spawned in. Zote. The RNG ruins it, but that's what I'm saying is like, you guys gotta understand, with these fights, an F for me is irredeemable. An F is pretty much, even if you change anything, these fights are still dog shit to me. A D is not good, but it's like if you change or make some changes, it could improve the fight vastly. Zote's example, if you could get rid of him spamming like 50 of the children at once, because sometimes you get hoed, and he'll spawn like 4 or 5 of his little childs at once. I think that makes it like annoying. I think it's an awful fight. But again, there's still a chance at fixing that. I think irredeemable just means you can't, like, none of these. There's nothing you could do to any of these that changing them would make me feel like they're good fights. How would you change Enraged Guardian to make it a better fight? Enraged Guardian, you could add more to its pattern. You could at least change, like, every other fight, when it came to the second version, had some major difference. Let's say Nightmare King Grim goes a lot faster, has a few more moves that are slight variations, and you have the move where he's like in the air, where like the light beams are shooting from the floor, which is overall a good improvement. Sisters of Battle, you get a third Mantis within the fight. The speed's like better. Overall, it's a changes how the original fight is, improves upon it. Soul Tyrant adds another ball to the little orbs it does, so it's like 6 instead of 4. Its speed is faster. So Enraged Guardian literally is a copy and paste of the first fight, Crystal Guardian. There's nothing currently that makes it a good fight, but you could do something like add other patterns in to make it a better fight. Like you could make it that like there's horizontal laser beams or something, like just a variation. Again, it's so low because there's nothing changing. Yeah, again, more damage doesn't equal a change in the like actual fighting style. It's still like a copy and paste of the first fight. I think your viewers want you to take a second to hydrate and calm down. I think we can solidly put Hornet Sentinel at S. I think Hornet Sentinel, Tula. I don't have my headphones on. If you can see my earrings, I can't hear you. I don't know what blurb you used. Hornet Sentinel is one of those where I think Hornet Sentinel is a solid fight. It improves upon the first fight. I think, again, a lot of these S tiers are fights that improve upon the original. Like, it adds a new mechanic, it's faster, and there's not really many... I can't think of any, like, bugs or glitches or anything that throws it off. Yeah, screw it. I think Hornet Sentinel is a unique enough fight to where I'd put it above. Go ahead. We'll switch it. We can put it above Soul Tyrant, since Hornet Sentinel does keep you more on the edge. It's more interesting. Marketh. Now I'm fucking with you. Marketh is F tier, obviously. Fuck Marketh. Marketh will not get any redeeming qualities. Fuck Marketh. I hate the fight. I will stand on it. It shouldn't be in the game. Dog shit. I hate it. Okay? Get it out of my game. Yeah, fuck Marketh. Honestly, I think Pierre Vessel is obviously S tier, no question. I'm thinking whether it's above Nightmare King Grim. As much as I struggle with it, honestly, I'd put it above Sisters of Battle too. And Sisters of Battle I'd put below Nightmare King Grim. I think it's fun as a fight as much as I fuck up and there's times where I get annoyed. It's a great fight. It's definitely... I'd put it above Nightmare King Grim. As much as I like Nightmare King Grim, like I think that's also a great fight. I think Pure Vessel is very readable. I never feel like Pure Vessel is cheating. I always feel like I fucked up, and that's good. That's good design that I feel like I made the mistake, because it should feel that way. When I mess up, it should feel like I messed up, not that the game screwed me over. And that's kind of how it feels for Pure Vessel. I never feel like Pure Vessel screwed me. I always feel like, damn, I messed that timing up. I don't know if this is S tier. Honestly, Paint Master is such a good fight. It's so readable, but it's fun like every time you play it. Like, again, another fight where I feel like once you have it down, it's such a good fight. It is like, when you get the flow, it's a bunch of fun. I really enjoyed the fight. Yeah, I mean, it's again one of those fights where like when you mess up, you know you messed up. You know the game didn't screw you. It's a really fun fight. I think it's very much like it has a good amount of variety within its moves. Once you get it down, it feels like a very like smooth fight. So Paint Master, definitely S tier, no question. No question. Zote, why are you at D tier? Because this is my fucking list and I said so. That's why. Moving on. I either put it above Sly or above Grim. I think that's a fair placement. I think putting it above Grim but below Lost Kin would be reasonable. I don't remember the fight enough. I feel like it was enjoyable when I first fought it. Or I know it was enjoyable. I remember having a lot of fun. Absolute Radiance at third place. That's how we end this list. Absolute Radiance at third place. It is definitely a great finale to all the things that build up. I think it's a solid fight. I think it's definitely S tier. I think it's a lot of what you built up to. I think there's like some RNG involved, but it's not enough to where I'd consider it like it's not Zote level of RNG. Or it's not like any of the other bosses where like the RNG is very apparent. It's a lot of skill and very little RNG involved. I think it's a great finale. I think it's very much like this is what you built up to and it feels like that. It genuinely, like, I can't think of any other boss that would be like the final boss. Like, that feels like they did a perfect job at like concluding it. Like, that's what you built up to. I can't imagine like if it ended with pure vessel, it would be kind of like eh. But like Abstrad is like a great final boss, and I think it's just overall like its uniqueness with like the nails it spews, the orbs, the pillars of light, the climb, the three phases, like all of it is what you want in a big final boss battle. So it's absolutely S tier. It is no question S tier. I think that's yeah, again, I've said this, it's not about how many times I've lost to the boss that's going to put it, because again, these bosses that I lost to, I still like them because it feels like I lost to them due to my own neglect, my own mistakes, not the game screwing me. So that's what I mean, where it's like it's well designed in the regard that it doesn't feel like like the game screwed me over. It felt like I messed it up, and that's good. That means I'm screwing up, but I can do better next time. Yeah. That's exactly why Abzrad is not number one. Because I do feel like there's more RNG involved, but it's not enough RNG to where I would push it out of S or anything else, like put it below any of these. There's definitely more RNG in here, but that's why it's not above Nightmare King Grim or Pure Vessel. Because I think those are perfect fights where like there's almost no RNG, like it's pretty much coming down to skill. But Abzrad has some of that RNG as to why it's third rather than first. Nightmare King Grim is easy, but it's a big improvement on the first fight. It's a fun fight to do, and I think it's just pretty much like what I want in a fight like that. I don't know what more to really say. Alright, so while editing this boss tier list down, I actually decided there's one boss I really should change the rank of, and that boss is Marmu. I realized I was wrong, and I did think more and more about it, and the truth is, even if you fix the clipping issue with Marmu, I think it's just a poorly designed fight overall, and I think the complaints are valid. I think there's not much you can really do to save the fight, so I feel like I should have changed it earlier, but I didn't, and so I'm changing it now. I think Marmu is an F tier, and just to clarify, all the F tiers to me should be taken out the game. There's no saving them. They're bad fights. They just shouldn't be in the game. With that being said, let's take one final look at the tier list and head to the outro. Alright, and that's going to conclude the Hollow Knight boss tier list video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Next video up should hopefully be me beating Pantheon 5 all bindings. I don't know when that's going to happen. I've been at it for a while. I still haven't managed to get it done. But I probably won't post any other Hollow Knight related video until I complete that. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed and have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.